I mean, but I'm not saying I'm not pushing Christianity on you. Is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna try and make you be a Christian, or try to force you to look at Christianity differently.
Well, then what's the point of reading it?
Yeah, what was the point of this little exercise?
If you're going, like I said earlier, I don't knock things until I have a full understanding of them.
I have a full understanding of Christianity, sir. I have a full understanding of Christianity. I was raised a Christian.
Yeah.
I didn't become an atheist until I was 23.
In the Bible,
I was well an adult
in the Bible,
and understood what it was I was being asked to understand.
Yes,
I have a full understanding of
because you were raised in the church doesn't give you a full understanding.
No. There is a lot more to it. We have been reading about this stuff for years.
Did it ever occur to you, sir, that somebody could understand your religion and still not buy it?
True.
I understand your religion, and I don't buy it.
Yes.
And I find it insulting that I do find it insulting that you think that the only reason I don't agree to be a Christian is because I haven't read your holy book enough.
No, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. That is not. That has nothing to do with.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
There are simply logical and philosophical and moral problems with this.
The thing that you're not understanding is according to my belief, God, His thoughts are higher. Because it makes no sense to you doesn't mean it didn't make sense.
So then, basically, we have no way of comprehending it. Okay.
I object to the very concept that we have to set aside logic as we understand it, because you and people like you claim that there's some better logic that's beyond us, and that makes it true even if it makes no sense to us. I can't believe you have the audacity to make a claim like that. How dare you tell human beings to believe your religion because there's some other better logic that they can't grasp? How dare you? How dare you trick and lie to people like that?
Until you can present...
That's disgusting.
Until you can present some other form of logic and some better ways of looking at the world and some better ideas of working with facts, then we have no reason to believe.
Yeah. I point out, by the way, if there's this higher logic that's beyond us, it's beyond you too, right?
Right.
Well, if it's beyond you too, how do you even know that it exists?
See, because I have a thing called faith.
Faith. That's that just going ahead and believing even though it makes no sense, right?
But you're not understanding. I did not.
No, I completely understand faith.
No, you're not.
Faith is believing even though it doesn't really make any sense.
That's in your perspective.
Lack of evidence.
And now we're back to this special logic, this special secret logic that we can't personally experience.
What is your idea of faith?
It either makes sense or it doesn't, sir.
Well, according to the Bible, faith is evidence.
No, faith is not evidence.
No.
Now, the Bible may say that. Faith is not evidence. Just believing isn't evidence of anything.
Evidence is something...
Because I can show you, I can introduce you to a man down at the sanitarium who believes he is Napoleon, and he's not Napoleon. Believing doesn't make it so.
Okay, but...
So if that's what faith is, you're very deluded.
Okay, I mean, this is what I'm...
We're at the core of the issue here now, right? This is the core of the issue. This is what is wrong and sick and twisted about religion in general, and in our society, Christianity in particular. This whole idea that that if you can get yourself to believe, that's proof that it's true. That's nonsense. Just because you could get yourself to believe something doesn't prove a thing. You know what proves things? Actual evidence. Evidence you can look at, show to others, interpret, test, and show that it comes out the same way next time. What science does. That's evidence and proof. Faith is nothing like that. Faith is just believing because you decided you're gonna.
Right. I made the decision. And
And that's fine. You, of course, have a complete freedom to believe whatever you want.
Right,
and I
so
support
you're saying that it's sick and twisted that
I think it's sick and twisted that you're in the business of telling other people to do the same. I think that's sick and twisted.
Why? They have
because
wait. According to you, remember we're all these smart people and we all have logic. So if they think with the logic, then they'll come up with the reason that it's not worth believing in. So why can't I talk about it?
Yeah.
Your job as a minister is to get people...
See, you're speaking out of ignorance, I know.
Your job as a minister is to get people to set aside their logic, like you have told us to do, to set aside their grasp of reality and believe what you tell them.
So you could get a grasp of it.
No.
Because if I stood here and I told you to do 30 things, and if I said I was Catholic and I told you to say 40 rosaries and you're forgiven, that would be pushing. I said to read for yourself and get an understanding so that you can distinguish whether it's worth your time or not.
And we explained to you that there is enough stuff. We explained to you there is enough stuff about Christianity to show us. To show any rational person that it's a load of nonsense. Even without reading the book.
Again, going off of what you said, this is why I said to read the Bible. Because going off of what you said, if I ever have an issue with anything, the first thing I want to do is go to the core of the issue. If you're finding out things about Christianity, the first thing you should do is go to the core of Christianity. Go to the Bible. Yeah. Get a full understanding of the root of Christianity. Get a full understanding of what we understand.
Most of us go by what was happening and surrounding Christianity. And I told you that I understand Christianity. And if you're going to come back to me and tell me I don't, that I must not understand it because I don't agree with you, then I'm going to tell you you're being insulting.
We have read
I was a Christian long enough to understand what it was I was being taught. And my point is, my objection to what you do, sir, for a living, is that it is your job to get people to set aside their own grasp of reality. You think it's limited, right? You think there's something better. I don't. I think that a person's understanding of reality is as good as it's going to get.
So you're asking them to set that aside. Then why does it differ so much?
You're asking them to set that aside and believe what your religion teaches. Not because of anything you can actually explain.
The Bible says taste and see.
I do want to get this point
because
out.
You don't believe in God. You don't believe in God. And because you don't, if you taste and see, because the only thing that can come of that, of you tasting and seeing, if you don't believe in God, is a new level. It's something God proving to you that I exist. That's the only thing that can come of that.
I think I explained earlier that if I had a mystical experience, my first reaction would be that I was
No, I didn't say mystical experience. I said God proving that He exists. God can do that in more ways than appearing.
No, sorry, not to me. I happen to know that the way you prove something is by actually, demonstrating that it exists. Not by innuendo, not by hints, certainly not by setting aside your own reasoning faculties.
Look at this. This is why I say there's a logic that we don't understand.
You cut me off every time I try to make that point.
Okay,
could you please let me make my point now? Your job as a minister is to get people to set aside their own grasp of reality and believe what your religion teaches, not because of anything you can really explain, but because of faith. Because you tell them if they can just convince themselves that it's true, then that's proof that it's true. And I think that's terrible.
I didn't tell them anything.
I think that is a terrible thing to do for a living.
Oh, I mean, that's the first. This is my thing. Okay, if reality is reality, right? If your mind grasps it as reality, it's reality, right? If you look at something,
actually,
like that test that your arms
that guy down in the sanitarium. He thinks he's Napoleon. Is he?
But that's his reality. If he thinks it, then it's reality
as Napoleon. Is he Napoleon?
Not to us, but to him, he's Napoleon.
And that's reality then? No,
that's reality.
The reality is he's a guy in a sanitarium.
See, but you choose to accept a different reality.
No, sorry. There is one reality where stuff actually happens.
Okay, we're going to go on. Going to go on to the next call. We thank you for calling, but in our eyes, reality is something objective and outside of your own brain. And so what I see as reality, what you see as reality, and what the guy in the sanitarium sees as reality, while they may be you may be seeing different things, there is an objective one out there.
Yeah. Reality is that
we like
does
the objective
not change
one.
Regardless of what your opinion of it is.
Exactly.
That's what reality is.
Okay. Well, I just hope that you guys are right, because if you're not, you're going to face a punishment.
Okay, punishment. Let's not even go there.
Leave with the threat of eternal torment.
No, I didn't say that. No,
thanks a lot. Of course you did.
Listen, hang on. TV@atheist-community.org. If you got more points, send them there. We'll respond to them online. We're going to get on and take the calls.
Not only do you have to set aside your own reasoning faculties, Not only do you have to set aside your own reasoning faculties and believe something he can't prove just because if he can convince you that if you can convince yourself that it's true, it must be. Not only that, but if you don't, then you get to be tortured for eternity. Yep. There's the kicker.
Okay. Now can I have my pen back?
Yeah.
And we're getting you the decaf next week.
And the show. Oh, good grief.